I'm finished with what I was doing. Basically what I was doing here is creating this customer measurement record, and this is something that you can also create, so whenever you have to jot down measurements, you have them on a proper paper where you can file them away and go back to as reference. Alright, so what I have is just these columns here, these rows and columns where you can put your measurements and notes on this end. At the bottom here, there's a little box that I put here for extra notes and measurements as well. Alright, so on the side here are all the measurements that I'm going to be taking. And over here, as you saw what I was doing before, when I'm ready to take the measurements, I'm going to place the arrow over here basically to demonstrate exactly where I'm talking about on the body. Alright, so this is the front view and that's the back view. Alright, so let's get started. Today I'm going to be showing you how to take your body measurements. This is for beginners only, because advanced people don't need to know how, because you know already. Alright, okay. We have completed getting to know your machine. We have completed maintaining your machine. We have completed threading the machine. We have also completed learning how to stitch in a straight line, basically controlling your machine. And we have also learned about some materials like the directional materials and things like that. Alright, so now we've completed all of that, we are getting ready to take measurements, right? And that's very important. I'm excited to show you guys exactly how. So I am here to help you. So now let us get started by taking the body measurements. Alright, so now we're ready to take the measurement of the mannequin. Alright, and as I said, I'm going to be looking on my sheet of paper and follow these measurements that I have jotted down here. The first measurement is shoulder to waist. When you're measuring, always make sure the person is standing upright and not bending over. And at the top here, this is your shoulder line. So you place the tape measure end right up top at the shoulder. You bring it down over the bust to the waist. And you measure just like that. Whatever number you get here, you jot that down. Okay? You're going to take the back shoulder to the waist. The same thing you do. You take the tape measure right up to the top of the shoulder here, and you go down right to the waist. When you're taking the full bust, you make sure the tape measure is directly under the arms. You see, if I'm going to take my measurement, I have to make sure the tape measure goes right up, right, and under the arm and over my bust, and that is how you will get an accurate measurement. Okay, you obviously put your hand like this under the person's arms, and you make sure that your tape measure is straight across. And if you notice where my fingers are right between the tape measure and the bust. You don't pull it too tight, you let it lay nice and relaxed, and that's your measurement here. We're going to take the front bust and the back bust. To take the front bust, you do the same thing. The only difference is half of it. You go right under the arm, right in the side, and you go over the bust to the opposite side. And this is how you take the front measurement. And for the back, you do the same thing. You go under the arm, and you make sure your tape measure is going straight across the back. And you take your measurement right here for the back. So now we're going to be measuring the front dart, and whatever measurement you get here, that is what you use. Our next measurement is the waist, and as you can see, we already know the position of the waist. So what you're going to do is take your tape measure and you go right across your body, and just how you did when you were measuring the bust, you keep your fingers, like 2 fingers right between the tape measure and the body, and you bring the other half around to meet the end of the tape measure. And this is your waist measurement. So, and the next one we're going to do is the hips. The hip measurement can be taken in 3 pieces. You have the high hip, you have the normal hip, and you have the low hip. But for today we're going to take the normal hip. You take your tape measure and you put the tape measure right across your hip. You have your two fingers right in between the tape measure and your body, and that is how you take your hip measurement. Alright, so what I'm going to be showing you next is the shoulder width. You take it right across the top shoulder to the opposite side, and that is how you take your shoulder width. So you'll go right across your shoulder here. This is the lower part of your shoulder over to the opposite side. So this is your top shoulder, and then this, I would say, I would call it your lower shoulder. And the next thing you're going to take is your chest, and your chest is from this point above your bust across to the other side, and that's how you will take that measurement. The next measurement that you're going to take is your shoulder measurement. So you take your tape measure again, and you place this right where you see that seam that's considered the mannequin's neck, and then you go right over to where your top of your shoulder is, and that's how you take that. Alright, so to take your neck circumference, you place the tape measure around the neck, and then you place your finger right between the tape measure and your neck, and you bring that in where your tape measure can move around freely. For example, the measurement for this mannequin right here comfortably is 34 centimeters. Alright, so now we finished the circumference of the neck. We're going to be measuring the top of the arm, the circumference of the arm. Alright, so right where this black line is, that's where we're going to measure. So you take your tape measure and you go around your arm, and you measure that just like this, and that's the top of your arm. When you're going to measure the length of your arm, you're going to find the top of your shoulder right where this bone is, right here. You're going to measure from this all the way down to your wrist, and you take it right down to where your wrist is. You do the same thing. You go take your tape measure and you place it right around your wrist like this, and that's it. Okay, so what's the next? The next measurement is waist to the ankle. So what you do here, you take the measurement. Some people take it from the side down. You can take it from the side front down to your ankle. However you do it, always make sure the tape measure is sitting on your waist, and then you go right down to the ankle. And another thing as well, that's for a long garment or maybe trousers. So if you want knee length, the same thing applies. You rest the tape measure right on the waist, and then you take the measurement all the way down to the knee, and that's it. One more measurement that is very important is when you're taking, if you're making trousers and you're taking like the crotch measurement, always make sure that you're seated. So I am going to demonstrate that to you. So I'm going to show you how you can take your crotch measurement while seated, which is the best way to take it. One of the reasons why you will get a more accurate measurement this way. Alright, so you have your waistline right here. You take your tape measure and you place it on your waist. And once you have it on your waist, you measure down to where you're seated on the chair. Make sure that you're sitting properly and upright. Try not to slouch. Try sitting up straight. Okay guys, as promised, on this paper are all the measurements that I took earlier, and I also have them numbered. And over here is where I mark the areas that I measured and also number them to correspond with these over here. So for example, number 1 was front shoulder to waist, and over here number 1, the front shoulder down to the waist, there's an arrow. The back shoulder to waist, you go to the back view, and here from the top shoulder down to the waist, this arrow shows you that's how you measure. So basically what I'm trying to say is, whenever, this is a great example, and you can create something like this, something that you understand. So whenever you are ready to take measurements, you can look at this and understand it. You don't have to do it exactly like this, but in a way that you can understand. So that's all, and I hope that you liked the video. I hope the video was very informative, and I hope you follow the steps in order to be great. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Alright, so thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.